Well, I guess the weathermen were right. Winter has arrived. This is Monday morning, and it did snow last night. I mean, not a lot right now. It's stopped for the moment, but it's pretty cloudy, so there may be more. It's pretty. Thought I'd show this to you before I get to work after breakfast this morning, putting in lights. So, yeah. Well, hopefully I can get it in there. Doesn't work very good in dirt, mostly dirt. But for now, to get this place cleaned up a little bit, this is all my food storage. Through the winter, I think it'll be fine. I don't want it up there in the loft in the summer, but for now, I'm going to pack this up there. These are light, this stack, not too bad. The other stack is heavier totes of food. But this stuff for emergency use. So I got to get it up out of the way. And no, we're not playing Sage. She hears me talking. That's the first thing she thinks of. I'm not doing anything. All right. Well, I'm going to get to work packing these up. Lift one of these really heavy. So not the best food in the world to eat. I don't like the emergency food that much. I tried it for last winter. I didn't like it. Okay, so I got these lights strung up here. I got two of them in series. And it looks like you got 12 feet between end to end approximately here, a little under. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach them to the floors in here. So that line that was between the two will run across. Go ahead and get these attached. I got hookups for them. What I'm going to do is they all have a 110 plug on them. They do have their own built-in switches. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to run some plugs there, and then I'm going to run a switch to them so that I can turn them on. Ultimately, I'd like to do them in a series of 3 or 4. I'd like to be able to do 3 switches, I think, at least, that I could turn on right over here off the wall. Or actually, better yet, right when I walk into the building here off to one side, I wouldn't mind putting the switches. I'm thinking to my right over here on the wall, put switches over there so when I walk in, I can just shut the door, because the doors are going to, I think the doors are going to open out on this. I may open them in so I can put screen doors on, but because these windows all have the ability to open, at least the 4, I'll have plenty of cross draft in here that I really don't need to put screen doors on. So if that's the case, if I decide on that, I will just open the doors out so I can walk in and hit the light switch easily. Whereas if I open the door this way, I got to shut it in the dark if it's night and then turn on the light switch. At any rate, that's how I'm going to hook these up. Right now, I don't have power in here for wiring, but I will be wiring. So right now, we'll just get the lights in position. I did test these out, and they are bright. I will bring you back out after I've got them all wired up. And it gets towards evening. It's a little bit duskier in here. I'll let you see what it looks like. And these are 12 lights that I bought on Amazon, and they cost me less than 90 bucks for 12 of them. And they're all 4 foot. I don't know how long they're going to last. We will have to give them a test, so I can't give you a full review on them. I'm not being sponsored. This is my own money buying these. But because it's something that I'm trying out in here, I do want to give you guys an idea what I think of it after I've had it for 6 to 12 months. So we'll give her some time, and I'll give you my first impressions, and then we'll come back later if there's any kind of issues, and we'll talk about it. All right, so these little brackets here, there's enough to do 2 per light, plus a couple spares. All they do is they screw, and then you press the snap in. So I'll space those accordingly so that I can run 2 of them on here towards each end. And that should be adequate. These things are ultra light, so there should be no issues with those. They come with some additional wiring. You could butt these end to end, so essentially make yourself an 8-foot lamp if you want. And I believe this is just set up so you could hardwire in if you wanted. I'm going to go with the switches and just leave them on, and that way when they're plugged in, you know, it's already wired up, it's nice and clean and neat, be good enough. And then it comes with plenty of these to link 2 6 times, so you can have 2 lights wired up 6 times. All right, let's get to work. Yeah, that'll work. I think that'll work just fine. Just like that. That's nice. We'll get the other one hooked up. Okay. And then just run across. Later on I'll get something to keep them up here. There we go. That's perfect. I don't know that it'll stay here. I may move it back, but it may clear the bathroom. And then I'll be doing its own bathroom light eventually, so it's not on all the time, but bathroom's going to be in the corner here. Let's see. I could easily move it this way a little more. There. That makes the lines nice and tight. Nice and bright. It's going to be make a huge difference tonight. I don't think I have a power strip. If I had a power strip, I could hook up more of them. This is the only one I'm going to be able to hook up to that right now. Although I do have other solar in here that I could move, kind of centralize, and maybe get a couple more lit up. But I think even just lighting one of these up will give you an idea. So that's a pretty slick deal. Of course, that'll be on a different kind of switch mechanism later. So that's what I'm putting up today. Those little cheap screws don't work really good. This one's not as tight. I mean, it's going to stay, but it's not as good as I would like it. There. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. There. Good enough. In here, I believe it's this end. Yep. So this one gets a little heart-shaped cap to close this end off. That's what it looks like to me anyway. And that's the dust cap in. I'm sure you can't see that. But anyway, we'll go ahead and plug this in. That way I can make sure the cord's stretched out the way I would like it when I hook it up here. There we go. That would be good. Just like I said, I got to wire this place to make them function the way I want. I'll put a plug in between each two of them so they can share the same power source from one outlet. And if the switches go out, I'll bypass them since they'll be on a switch because they're going to just be left on all the time. And since I want a lot of light down here, I'm going to probably put all 12 in. Is what I've pretty much decided to do. Check them all, make sure they're all functional out of the box. And then if they aren't, I'll let you know. We'll just do it on film. Setup will go like this with the plug side to my right. Let's see, on the dust cap. Little dust cap. Okay, this will have to go up like that. All right, I got 12 lights up in here. Fills up every void that there was. Every spot that could use a light will have a light now. So that worked out really nice for me. And next project, get power in here. I've got an all-in-one inverter coming. Once I get that, I'll share the 800 watts out there for now between this place and that place. Got to figure out a way to shut off the all-in-one because it has a constant draw, just as this MPPT has a constant draw every day. It's drawing power overnight when you're not receiving power. So if I was to switch that stuff, then that wouldn't happen. But you'd have to switch it. For example, this one on the hot wire here, which I have a switch I could do that with, and I could shut off the battery. And then this won't draw power from the battery, and then I could come back and turn it on. It's kind of a hassle because you got to turn on one source at a time. So I'd have to turn off the solar as well. That way in the morning I'd turn on the power to the battery first, give that a second to charge, then turn on the solar, preferably before the sun's hitting the panels. And that way when it hits the panels, everything's a nice even amount of wattage coming in. Because what's going to happen if you turn both of these on at the same time, get power at the same time, it's going to overpower your inverter and it's going to blow it out. Don't ask me how I know. Anyway, that's it for now. All right, folks. It's definitely dark in here. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll turn on the power. Maybe. And all right, let's turn on. That's 2 lights. Yeah. I got 12 of them in here, so that'd be nice. I originally thought there was only 5 switches. There were actually 6, which made it possible to do it all in pairs. So that worked out rather nicely. I don't know how I miscounted, but I did. You know, I only have 5 fingers on one hand, you know. So anyhow, I'm pretty pleased with this. As you can see, it's very bright. Let me see the camera show. Yeah. I can't complain about that at all. That's really nice. So it'll be slick once I get everything paired up. These 2 lights here and these 2 lights here will light up this whole section really nice if I only want to light it up. These 2 lights here will be connected and they can light up just this area. And then the other 2 by the camera there, above the camera, can light up that area. And that's going to be all the way across in each section. So, I mean, I literally, if I wanted to, I could go up and turn off a valve and have a valve. I could literally turn off one of these switches and alter the lights around here and have a different combination of lights come on depending on what I think I need. These right now are pulling 20 watts. That's 10 watts per 4-foot light, which is very impressive to me because I thought they were 20 watts per light. They're literally 10 watts per light is all they're pulling. And that's just insane. That's 120 watts just to run all 12 lights. So I hope they last. This will be great. If I can get 4 or 5 years out of these, I would be happy with them. Some of the reviews said they didn't last more than a year, so we'll see. I won't buy them again if that's the case. I think for now, just while I'm trying them out, I'll just put this one Harbor Freight one that I've had for years up in the loft and just use that in the loft. That runs 40 watts all by itself. That's like 4 of these lights. And it's not as bright as 4 of them. So this is really impressive. All right, that's it for now. I just wanted to show you that. And I got to go to town tomorrow, get some stuff. I think eventually what I'd like to do is put a hose here that I can pump the water into here, run it through the wall, and now once I build my outbuilding shed, whatever you want to call it, on the end of this, which should be done next year. It's kind of the game plan. So I've been trying, every once in a while I've been popping water in here. It's close to full. I've got 2 more of these. I don't think I'll be able to fill it up with those. I'll have to go down and get more water. So, but I usually live on 100 gallons of water plus 5 of these filled up through the winter. I just ration my water. And then at some point before summer, what I'll do is I'll bring my pump and stuff up from down in the spring area. And that way it stays thawed out. And then I'll carry it down and just use it. It's just one more thing to pack down though. Well, let's get this done and I'll go get more water. So this is plumbed to my sink only. And it's plumbed to the sink with I had a RV hose, which is safe for drinking water. And I put a filter on it and I hooked it up to a spigot at the bottom of this. So it's gravity fed to all the way over to the pump underneath the sink. And then that pumps to the sink. But what I'm going to do, I have a pump in here too that I could hook up, that used to be hooked up to this right here. And I have a line down in here. I may hook that back up. I may enlarge this to where it's a bigger hose, but I think I'm a 1/2-inch hose now, so I think that's adequate for this little distance. But I'm going to plumb a on-demand propane system that's made for indoor use into this, and then I'll plumb the exhaust out. And I've got a propane line right here for it that I've already rigged up. This whole place is rigged for propane. And then I'll get my PEX. I have a bunch of PEX that I can use to plumb. And I'll plumb from the shower. I've got to get a valving system. I may just totally change this out. This is just cold water, or if you heat up water, I have that other hose, the 1/2-inch hose, goes into about 5 gallons of hot water for my take in my shower, which is kind of a pain because I got to heat it up. But with the on-demand, I can run water at the sink and I could run water in here. That would be really nice just to have this all civilized. So having this 100-gallon tank in here is really nice. You know, I have to keep it full, but it's still really nice. This is not the kind of place I'm going to stay in all the time anyways. That's why oh, I think I can do 1 more of these. The one I have is not completely full, but I'm almost to the top, which is nice. I won't have to pour into this again after that today anyways, but before winter I've got to make sure I'm topped off and that these are all full. I usually stack them right in here, so they'll fit in there rather nicely. I'll be right back. I've actually got 1 more in here that's pretty full, but I'm not going to need it today, so I'll just refill up the 4 of them I'm using. That's about as full as it can get. It's almost to the rim. It's a little away from it. So that's good enough. Here we are. For those of you that don't realize, this is just a holding tank. It's not a hot water heater. I had somebody once ask me why the heck I had a hot water heater in here. This is the size of a hot water heater, but it is just a 100-gallon holding tank for water, period. No elements, no electrical, no nothing. So I just want to make sure you knew that. I bought that because it was small, cylinder that was tall. It was perfect. It wouldn't take up a ton of room in here. Yet it gave me 100 gallons to store, which lasts me quite some time. And over summer, I used it all the way down. So I've been filling it up periodically since fall, pretty much. But I'm officially full right now. It works out really nice. Like I said, I've got to replumb it and decide if I want to pull water out of the bottom or pull water out of here. Out of the bottom, I do have a screen on it, which is cleanable, and I like that. So what I could do is plumb from the bottom, and which is good because then I got all that downforce water pressure. And I should probably put a little plug cap over this. I used to have one. I don't know what I did with it. Put another one over it, cap this off so nothing gets into it, and plumb this place this winter. So one of the projects I guess we'll do this winter is possibly working on the on-demand hot water system. Seeing if I can't get that going when I have other things that I really can't do. I've got a lot that I can do. It's just one of those things I really would like to get done, because it would be nice to be able to run hot water in the shower here all the time without having to worry about heating up water. On the end of my sink, I have an on-demand 110 system, and that's going to get moved into the shop. So I'm not going to store water in the shop more than 55 gallons. I got a 55-gallon drum right now I water my plants with. I may get another one for the shop, but I'm not going to put another 100-gallon tank in the shop because that's just never going to need that volume. All right, let's go get water. All right, I guess we're gonna go get water. What do you think, Sage? Go get water? Here we go. So for those of you that are new to my channel, I dug a hole here, about yay deep, and hit water. So I got a spring right here, and that's what I get my drinking water from. I've been doing that for the last 4 years, and I'll come down here and I can usually fill up 4 of these containers that I've got down in here. So we'll go ahead and get these 2 filled. I'll go back up, get the other 2, and take these with me. And that'll be all the water for this year at this moment, I should say, because when I can get water, I'll come back down here and get it. But I do need to pull up my filter system here and my pump and all the lines so they don't freeze up. I've had to repair the filter housing. It's cracked because it froze up 1 year. I waited too long, so this year I want to beat it. And it's still working, still functional. It's got a little bit of a leak to it, but it works. Well, you can see I've got some pecs here. This is 1-inch pecs I got to stretch out next summer and straighten it out. This is a little larger pecs I was going to use maybe when I do the spring development. I may use that within it before I funnel down to the 500-gallon tank below. Gravity feed. I got to dig a ditch. I started to already, but it's kind of filled up a little bit. I got to redig a ditch from the solar panel array down here to where I'm going to put the basically the spring catchment container before the water goes down from it into the holding tank. And also this 1-inch line will be plumbed uphill and go to the frost-free valve that I'll have up there. I got I think it's about 6 feet long frost-free valve. I'm going to try and bury it down 4 feet, and it's frost-free, so I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to have a back pressure valve down here, but I'm also going to have a valve that I can switch on, and I can actually drain the whole line all the way back when I want. But when it's running in the summer, I don't want to have the water run all the way back. I want a valve to cut that off from running back so that I don't have to have the pump run it up all the way uphill every time. But anyway, that's a project I was going to do this year, the year before that, and the year before that. I need to do it. The stuff's been sitting here this whole time. I threw it, Sage. I threw it. Oh, you want the rock, don't you? Anyway, I got to do it this coming year. Before I start on my next cabin build, which is my log cabin, I got a few projects that might take all year next year to get done, but I'm hoping to at least get the ground leveled out where I'm going to put the cabin in, because it's a fairly level area. I want to finish leveling it out, and then I'll show you in the hillside where I plan to put a cold storage area. I plan on building one. So I got in the back of my mind, I have a cellar I want to build. So that's a future plan too, but that won't come till after the cabin's built for sure. The cabin's going to take me, I'm hoping, no more than 2 years tops. I think that's pretty reasonable time frame. It may take 2.5 years, but we'll see. It just all depends on what I can get done while building it. So. Alright, I'm going to have to come back down here with a wrench so I can take it loose at the battery. Then I can pull everything up in one fell swoop. I don't have quick release connectors on here anymore like I used to have. Everything's put together. All right, that's good enough for now. There we go. All sharpened up, Sage. All right, folks. That wraps up this week's winter prep. First snow's here. Things are really starting to shift into cold weather, and I've got more projects lined up. So if you'd stick around, you'll see what's coming up next. I want to thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you again. Please leave a like if you liked it, and share and comment. It really helps my channel out. I really appreciate it. Thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time.